you there in the wider world? Welcome back to the hub. Welcome back to our Facebook viewers and listeners, and to our listeners on radio. You're in the hub with Samuel Best Spencer, and I have with me the political leader of the DNA. A pleasant good morning to you, Miss Joan Messiah.
And good morning to you, Spence, and to your technician, and to.
If you'd like to make a call, please hang up and try again.
Lost her? Try again. Unfortunately, we've lost Miss Messiah, but we're going to have her back pretty soon. And we will be discussing a few important things in the hub this morning. A few important factors of life as it relates to Antigua and Barbuda and the wider Caribbean. So we will have Miss Joan Messiah, political leader of the DNA, back. Good morning again, Miss Joan Messiah.
Good morning, Spence, and to you and your technician and your wide listenership. Our call just dropped out there for a moment.
All right.
Thanks for having us again, the DNA, and I believe at some point, if possible, our Secretary General, Mr. Gatesworth James, will try to join us.
Yes, we'll be happy to have Mr. Gatey James in. He's a regular of the hub, for sure. Now,
Yes, indeed.
But let's get to the meat of things this morning, because I do have quite a few questions for you.
Okay.
Let us start with, where do you see Antigua and Barbuda at this moment? Because I see a lot of angry people out there at this moment. And I had the folks on price control in because some people have said capitalism have gone mad and we're in troubled times. Are you supportive of these factors, that this is an angry land and capitalism have gone mad and we're in troubled times?
I certainly hear those sentiments being expressed, and I see it for myself. And listen, we are going through very, very hard times, some perilous times. But my glass is always half full, never half empty, always half full. And I say that to encourage the people of Antigua and Barbuda not to lose faith. Continue to be optimistic that better days must be ahead. But their anger, their anxiety, because people, I think, in addition to being angry, people are also angry. People are also anxious. They're depressed. They're mentally and psychologically stressed and drained because of everything happening in our country related to the pandemic, one, and two, this ever-increasing cost of living expense. These are the things that are angering people. And government's response to the pandemic, the government's failure to have proper
that it is too late for the government to seriously invite opposition parties, NGOs, and the people who may have interest in ensuring a good Antigua and Barbuda to the table now, so that going forward, we won't make some of the mistakes that we've made. Because I'm not saying that everything that they did was a case of mismanaging the situation, but obviously some of the things, or quite a few of the things, could have been better done.
It is never too late when we're talking about
seem to have lost. Seem to be having some technical challenges this morning. Go right ahead, please. You're here.
Hearing me?
Yes, please.
I was saying, in our opinion, it is never too late to do the right thing. It is never too late in a democracy when we're talking about people's lives and their livelihoods. It is never too late to invite people to the table, right? This pandemic is evolving. There is no magic bullet yet developed. And so we have to stop this hit and miss approach. We have to, the government has to stop this hit and miss approach. The government has to stop this guessing game and say to the country, listen, we may not have gotten things right all the time, but let us move forward in a partnership. All of us, we're inviting people to the table. The religious leaders have made the position clear. You have unions, you have people who may just want to come to the discussion. You have doctors who are practicing natural medicine and those who are practicing conventional medicine. Those who have treated persons who have been infected with COVID. Bring them to the table and let them talk about what their management regime has been like. Bring persons who have been infected. And most importantly, we need to keep the education of our people constant. In all of this COVID situation, what has been lacking is a consistent message from the government. And if we hark back to the decision of this, that was shared this morning. Okay, we are all very happy that the children are all going to go back to school. But we're saying in the DNA, that's not enough, right? For children and children generally, young people, all of us, we have to be told and be reminded constantly of the protocols. Children and people who have been separated for a long time, when they see one another, they're going to get excited. You're going to rush in. You know what I'm saying, Spen? It has happened to all of us. I have not seen friends for a long time. I was just here, any COVID? If I see them, but I'll hug up, quick. You understand? But in that quick moment, we are putting ourselves at risk. You know what I'm saying? So the message has to be constant, because a lot of people are of the view that when they're vaccinated, they're suddenly safe. They can't catch COVID, and so on and so on. And so education, the public education, is critical. It takes time, but Cabinet ought never to believe it alone has all the answers.
So true. And we'll take a break at this moment. If you please, we'll just go to a break. And we will be back and we'll continue our discussions. And I'd also like to maybe segue a bit into the state of the economy. Welcome back to the Hub on Radio at DK 97.1 FM. And as you know, the Hub is sponsored by Caribbean Alliance Insurance Services. And in the Hub with me, I have Mr. Gaty James. And on phone, the political leader, the president of the DNA, Joanne Messiah. Now we were at a point where we're discussing the vaccine, the COVID situation, the pandemic on a whole and the actions and reactions of the government, we're going to just maybe conclude that, and then we have to use maybe 10 minutes to look at the general situation in the country as it stands now.
Thank you so much, Ben. You know, I just want to say that, and I'm hearing this more and more. The people of the country, they just want to hear the truth. They want our leaders, we want our leaders to be honest with us. What is the situation, right? As we wrap up this COVID situation, as I said, we have to begin to take our lifestyles into hand. We are a country, we are a race, black people. Black people have been known to be traditionally and historically afflicted by sugar and pressure. And these things are lifestyle illnesses, largely. Some of it may be hereditary, but the majority is a lifestyle illness. That means it is how we eat. It is whether or not we exercise. It is whether or not we get enough rest, these kinds of things. So that every time you see somebody say, oh, I eat a licking peas and rice, it had pig mouth, pig tail, salt beef, chicken, etc., etc. These people, it might taste good, but it is so highly concentrated in salt and other things that are not good for this little body that God gave us and asked us to take care of. I knew a gentleman very quickly. He had diabetes. He had both of his legs amputated. And Uncle Joe would say, the only thing I love more than sugar cake is more sugar cake. Right? We are coming upon the Christmas season. People must not relax. People must not become complacent. And every Christmas, the doctors will tell you that the patients come in, their sugars level high. Why? They want to indulge in all the cake, all the pudding, and all the things they shouldn't be. Just like in the summertime. When it's mango season, people say, oh, me just have a bucket of mango, one bat of mango, one pail of mango, one bowl of mango. The body is our temple. The Bible tells us so. We have to take care of it. And we need to have more educational programs on the TV, on the radio, constantly in our faces, telling us how to take better care of ourselves and explaining what these non-communicable diseases are. Thank you.
Great. Yeah. The point that I really want to bring home here is the quality of our governance that we have, and governance on a whole. Because we have to understand that when we are governing or managing anything, you're going to have different people in it with different views. And what comes out of it is if you are able to handle this situation in such a way without victimization, but taking the good of getting all the information you can, that can guide the entire organization. And you extend that to government. Government must be tolerant to opposing views. Government must understand that there are people who are going to be for and against. But we are all one Antigua and Barbuda. And one Antigua and Barbuda means that the objective is to see that the country moves forward, the majority of the people are moving with you, and that type of thing. I heard information this morning about the sufferings of the Barbuda Council. I mean, it needs an investigation. You don't have these kind of things happening in a small 170 square mile place. Folks must understand that even though you are elected as government, you don't have it all. It's not yours. You're just entrusted to run things for a while, right? And that you must leave a mark that whoever comes after you can take it a little further. But you don't victimize people. You don't undermine what is happening. Systems and procedures are the ones that are going to move you forward. And everyone must have somebody to overlook them and see what's happening. And we don't have these kind of things. People just want to go and be in power for 40, 50, 30, 40, 50 years and those kind of things. What's the sense of that? Yeah? And you're just undermining the country. And when we want to talk about the economy as well, but when we talk about the economy, we're going to look at the little people. The people selling the stuff at the side of the road, the market vendors and so on, the little shops and so on, and see what they're doing. And don't give us some big overgrown figures that don't mean anything, and how people are able to spend. So this is how we see it. And the decision that Antigua and Barbuda must make at the upcoming general election is whether we want to continue along this road, or if we want to do a new thing in that is going to show an open light and bring hope and prosperity for everybody.
One of the sober-minded things I heard from the Prime Minister in recent times is the fact that he would have to look at the concessions given to investors, because the country, would really like to have some of those taxes in our coffers. And it is a good thing as far as I'm concerned. I don't know if you heard that utterance, the utterance made on, I think it was an interview with a Jamaican radio station or some foreign radio station. But those are some of the things that we should be looking at seriously and ensure that some of these things are passed on to Antiguans. We need to have these incentives given to local businesses. I've said on this station that if we have 100 local businesses here, that would get some of the concessions that are passed on to these people. And these concessions are given in a way that you must perform. You must employ 20 people. You must employ 30 people. You must pay all your taxes and things like that. It would be better for the economy. I'll just allow your lady to take it up, and then you can get it.
Friends, and I see that you have been reading the DNA's policy document, which is a good thing. Mm-hmm. The DNA in our policy document, it's on all the social media platforms, right? We have said that we will create what you call LDIs, local direct investments, right? Where these people will be afforded concessions to help them grow and expand their businesses. But, as you just said, there will be conditions, just as we intend to put conditions on the foreign direct investors. Mm-hmm. We have said, for example, that when you really sit down and dissect the levels of concessions these foreign investors get, sometimes it equates to $20, $30, $40 million. What do the people get for that? And we're saying in the DNA, the promise of jobs, average paying jobs is insufficient. We've said, for example, if somebody comes and they want to invest, let me just say in a hotel, just as an example there, we intend to equate the value of the concessions that they will apply for, right? Mm-hmm. And in examining that, we will say, well, listen, how many scholarships you're going to be able to give to train our people who will come back and be able to find employment directly for investment or to help the country as a whole. And we're also saying, with a deep government, the creation of jobs will be an essential stimulus for getting the economy back on track, to be able to provide benefits for everybody, to be able to create what we say is our motto, which is prosperity for all, right? I didn't hear the Prime Minister's comment, but it seems to me, again, it's just coming from another politician whose promises are elusive. Because if the Prime Minister are really committed to that, why would he have this new economic zone and that slew of concessions, those giveaways that don't benefit the people of Antigua and Barbuda? If they were serious about getting this economy back on track, they would have, in this period of COVID, this lull, They would be seeking to have public sector workers as well, trained in something differently. They would have had these people, have a proper evaluation and an assessment of where and what sectors of the economy need boosting, need to be stimulated, and to ensure that they have sufficient people to fill these job opportunities that will come out. The DNA has been speaking for the better part of, I would say, 5 years about the diversification of the economy. I know every political party is speaking about that, but we are saying we actually have done the side work. We have explained to the people the priority areas for us. We have explained to the people how we're going to transfer skills, how we're going to retool workers in this country so that they're able to fit into emerging and new opportunities that will arise from a truly diversified economy.
Unfortunately, we'll have to wrap up now. And thank you very much for being on the program this morning with us. I just hope you can concede the next 2 minutes to Mr. Gatey James so he can wrap up. And maybe at a later date, before the end of the year, we could have another program with engaging folks on the DNA. And I'm still waiting for other political parties to show their faces and give their opinions on issues.
Thank you, Spence. And I say once again, it's a pleasure to be here. But certainly, I want Antigua and Barbuda to know that the DNA is out, and the DNA has its program well planned for you. So the next time around at the general elections, look for the DNA, because these are full program, and we don't want any sideway talk. If the Prime Minister wants to do something, he's in a position to do that. Get his technical people to do the thing and put it in action. Don't tell me he's thinking about doing anything. It's another promise. It's like a 500 homes in 500 days promise. So don't tell me that. He has the machinery at his disposal, and he has the people to do that. So thank you very much.